Hello everyone. 吃饱了吗？食飽未啊？ It's my first time in Macau, but Macau feels like home because most of people here speak Cantonese. Yeah, I'm from Ipoh, so I speak Cantonese as well.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh, you're right. Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Very good afternoon to all. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the panel. Why is Southeast Asia prime for the next decade? Okay, I'm quoting former president of United Nations Security Council from the opening ceremony yesterday, Kishore Mahbubani. He said the next growth engine for the world would be CIA. So CIA is China, India, and ASEAN. Oh, so you are in the right place if you want to learn more about Southeast Asia and ASEAN. Okay, we have a wonderful panel today. Quite diverse. Thomas is now based in Kuala Lumpur. Previously from Shanghai, right? You moved to Kuala Lumpur in 2015.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Okay. Then Davide.
Yeah, actually, I arrived in Shanghai in 2015.
So he's now, you're now in Vietnam.
Switch places.
Yeah, from Europe. I'm originally Italian. Then I was there 7 years, and I moved to Ho Chi Minh last year.
Good, cool. And Winston from Indonesia. Apa kabar?
Baik. Yeah, hi, thank you.
Okay, to start, I would like to ask maybe Thomas, all the panelists to introduce yourself briefly and also what your company does.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom Tsao. I'm one of the co-founders of Gobi Partners. Gobi is a regional venture capital firm. We are now in 15 locations. We have a portfolio now of 380 startups. We're I think on our 16th, 17th fund. We're celebrating our 21 years now of venture. So I like to joke, my career at Gobi has now reached drinking age. And a lot of my colleagues are in the audience. A lot of our partners have come from all around the world to Macau because so many exciting things, I think, going on here and within GBA. And we hope to make more friends from this conference. So thank you.
Okay, so you already know I'm Italian. My name is Davide, but you can call me David, it's fine. So I started CrossFunc 2 years ago, actually less than 2 years ago. It's an investment platform for business angel. We focus on emerging market and early stage. We do pre-A. In 18 months, we have done 70 deals, and we invested 30 million US dollars. Yeah, not Hong Kong dollars. We are growing quite fast. We have focusing on accredited angels. So now we have actually 10% that are institutionals. We work with a lot of accelerator, small VC, macro fund, family office, a lot of family office. We have 14,000 accredited investors. And 60% of our deals are in Asia and 45% are in Southeast Asia. So we focus on this as a main global emerging market. Then our second market is actually Africa. It's interesting. Our second country is Nigeria. First country is Vietnam. Second is Nigeria. And now we are also starting in MENA. And we tried in South America, but not a great success. If anyone has a strong network in South America, let me know. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Winston Utomo from Indonesia. So we started IDN Media, William, my partner, and I, back in 2014. Indonesia, IDN Media is a media platform company for millennials and Gen Z in Indonesia. We have over 70 million unique audience every month in our ecosystem. So it's 1/3 of Indonesia internet population, which is 210 million, give and take. Our 4 pillars of business, the first one is digital media. The second one is live streaming. The third one is entertainment, including movie and music. And the last one is creators, so anything related to content creators and influencers. So yeah, happy to be here. Thank you, Yimie.
Okay, thank you. So in recent years, Southeast Asian tech companies are also drawing attention from all around the world, especially with the announcement of Grab listing on Nasdaq, Gojek merging with Tokopedia to form tech giant GoTo, the listing of Bukalapak in Indonesia, and not to forget Malaysia, we have our first tech unicorn, Karsam, backed by Gobi partners. So it's look very promising, that region. So now I would like to ask my first question to these two investors, like what's next? What are the opportunities you see? And do you have any preference in terms of geographical area and also sector? So maybe Thomas, you can start first.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for that question. I think Winston and Davide could talk about Indonesia and Vietnam. So I am a little partial because I'm based in Kuala Lumpur, and so I think Malaysia is sometimes an overlooked market in Southeast Asia, just because Indonesia. I always laugh, it's sort of like a black hole because it sucks everything in. It's so powerful, but Malaysia, I think, is sometimes a little overlooked, but we love it because I think, and I've said this before, I think Malaysia, especially for our friends from China, can serve as a penta hub. So penta meaning 5, so the 5-sided hub. By going to Malaysia, you can connect to I think 5 of the biggest investment trends on the planet. Okay, so the first one is because Malaysia has the same language, Bahasa, and religion as Indonesia. You can go to Indonesia direct, and that's great, but you could also use Malaysia as a stepping stone into Indonesia. 1. 2, Malaysia's strength is its diversity. Malaysia has a thriving Malaysian Indian community. So from Malaysia, you can connect to India. Malaysia also has, like Yimie yourself, a thriving Malaysian Chinese community. Yang Zichong, Michelle Yeoh, I know Hong Kong's trying to claim her, but she's also from Malaysia, right?
Yes,
a thriving Malaysian Chinese community. So you can connect back to Greater Bay, China through Malaysia. Malaysia, part of the original British Commonwealth. Very good English. You can connect to Europe, right? North America, the West, through Malaysia. And finally, I think the last huge opportunity is because Malaysia is positioning itself as a center for Takwa tech. And that may be a newer term for our friends from China. It's innovation focused on the global digital Muslim economy. So Takwa is the Arabic word for faith, purpose. And so when you look at the big opportunities, I mean, China was huge because it was 1.4 billion people. What's bigger than 1.4 billion? 2 billion, and that's the number of Muslim consumers on the planet. And what Gobi's trying to do is, through Malaysia, and that's why we're building out in Pakistan. We're going to be building out in Bangladesh. We have a presence in Indonesia, which Winston will talk more about. Imagine connecting that across kind of Southeast Asia, South Asia, MENA. That could be a big opportunity. And again, you can access that through Malaysia. So we're very excited. You mentioned Karsam. Again, we're very proud of what they've done. But in the audience, we think Malaysia's second unicorn is emerging. And I see Kamarul there from Aerodyne. So you should definitely talk to Kamarul and Aerodyne. They're an emerging company as well. Again, overlooked. I always laugh with Kamarul. If he had decided to set up the company in Singapore, the company probably would be worth 3 times. Or Indonesia, right? Easily 3 times what it's worth now. So you're getting a huge bargain. Come to Malaysia. Great, great opportunities for Chinese investors. Still a lot of room. You can find great, great bargains. Indonesia, everybody's kind of there. Still great companies there, but the pricing, I think, is already kind of normalized. Malaysia is still a lot of undiscovered gems. So that's my take.
Actually, we should talk about Malaysia because we are not strong in Malaysia either. Okay, we can't be strong everywhere. Okay, so I guess I have to talk about Vietnam because I moved there 1 year ago, and it actually is our first country. So we have 10 companies, 13 deals. We've done 3 rounds. We are very far from IPO. We just started 18 months ago, but we have the first exit this month. And actually, the company was headquartered in Hong Kong. So that's interesting. It comes from my previous life in China. So what is great about Vietnam? I mean, there are a lot of numbers. You saw some numbers before in the presentation. So the numbers are staggering. I would say, by the way, the current GDP is 3 trillion. So that's already something. And by 2030, it will be the 4th geographical economic area after Europe, USA, China. There will be Southeast Asia. There is a problem with diversity. And actually what Tom was saying about Malaysia is great. I heard already several times, Bobby Liu is a great advocate recently. It's a great place to make tests. In this sense, Vietnam has a different composition. Vietnam is mostly a bridge between China and the Khmer countries, right? So you have the south is more like mellow and you can listen to music in the car and you feel like you're in Bangkok. And when you go in an office in the north, they will serve you tea on the desk, right? So we celebrate Chinese New Year. It's called Tet. We have the rabbit instead than the cat instead of the rabbit, sorry. But pretty much the same thing. 100 million people in Vietnam, 30 years old population is like 60%, it's more than 60%. So one of the problems in Southeast Asia is the talent. Tech talent. There cannot be really a lot of startup without tech talent. I think this is one of the strongest points that Vietnam has in the region. I have a tech background, so I of course, tech scene is the first thing I see. There is 500,000 developers in Vietnam, and they are growing by 10% every year. And another million people work in ICT. I don't think you can find this number easily. And I tell you also that this is something that is a gut feeling. The quality of the IT in Vietnam is top-notch. I spoke different. Indonesia is great for UX, UI. Actually, we have one from Indonesia. Every country maybe has their strong point. Vietnam has strong developers, especially for AI and blockchain. Really, there's some top-notch people. And you can see, in fact, the first unicorn coming out from Vietnam, they come actually in that space, right? They are cooperating with Tencent, but they're doing blockchain game. They are doing AI. And so I think this is a strong point for Vietnam. I think it will become the tech hub for Southeast Asia in the future. This is my prediction because China cannot project completely the tech power they have. They are limited by a lot of regulation when they go abroad. For example, Alibaba acquired Lazada and it took them 5-6 years to deploy the API, right? So because there was some restriction. There is some challenge. I want to talk also about the challenge because there's also opportunity. I think the infrastructure is the main problem in Vietnam. There's no highway. The first deep water harbor was just open. Now they're building the second one. So if the country doesn't invest massively in infrastructure, they risk to miss to get stuck in the middle income trap. Okay.
Okay, now I would like to, any discussion about Southeast Asia have to include Indonesia. So Winston, what are the opportunities available and what are the trends you see in Indonesia and also especially in the media and in entertainment industry?
Thank you, Yimie. So after Malaysia, Vietnam, now I talk about Indonesia. So when people talk about Indonesia, what they know mostly is Bali, which is an amazing place, but I think Indonesia is much more than that. Maybe just give a brief, some of the insights about Indonesia. First, Indonesia is the large country. We are the 4th most populous country, 270 million population and growing. From 270 million, 210 million are internet users, which grows very fast in the past few years. Based on many analysis and research report, we will become the 4th or 5th biggest economy in the world by 2045. So in the next 20-25 years, we will become the 4th or 5th biggest economy in the world. Second, we cannot deny that we have an abundant natural resources, coal, oil, natural gas. In fact, we are the biggest nickel producer in the world. So, but the government has made a big push as well toward the renewable energy. The third is political stability. I think that's one good thing about Indonesia, especially in the past 10 years. The political stability, the government has been quite friendly regarding businesses, regarding foreign investment, FDI, so which is a good thing. We just held successfully G20 last year in Bali, and right now as we speak, we have a ASEAN summit in Labuan Bajo on a beautiful boat and island in Labuan Bajo. So that's the third good thing about political stability. The fourth one is the economic growth. This year projection around 5% economic growth, which is quite good and higher than many other regions. Last year is more than 5%, and the projection it will keep going well for Indonesia. And the last is the rising middle class. I checked earlier based on the report from the World Bank. Right now, Indonesia has 55 to 60 million middle class. The definition of middle class is the monthly spending is around $300 to $1,200. Just to give perspective, the minimum salary in Indonesia is around 200 to 300 US dollar every month. So that's the good thing about Indonesia. So those five are why Indonesia is prime for investment from China, for other parts of the world. And yeah, we are happy to be part of Southeast Asia, and we know that Southeast Asia is the future of economy of the world.
Okay, cool. Like, how about like Gobi is also investing in Indonesia. So like for Indonesia, now we are zooming into Indonesia. Like, what are the challenges like investing there?
Well, I think the challenges investing in Indonesia, challenges in any market, emerging market. I think I mentioned it at another panel earlier. Is I think for a lot of the Chinese capital looking to go to Indonesia or Southeast Asia for the first time, definitely, I would say collaborate. Look for local partners, because I think for a lot of Chinese companies going abroad, 出海, right? Sometimes 会水土不服, right? So I would say look for people like Winston, Davide, who can help you be a guide, and that can ease the process. In Indonesia, again, a lot of great entrepreneurs, but also a lot of established relationships that you need to navigate, and definitely do a whole market mapping. Indonesia is a very, very large opportunity, but it's like you want to sometimes when VCs go first in for the first time, they fall in love with the first startup they see, right? They sometimes don't realize that there could be like 30 startups doing the same thing, but the first one they saw is the one they think. So just market map the whole sector before, or talk to people who have seen it. I think that would be one. Yeah.
Okay, I come back to you, Winston, because I think you missed out like want to know like what are the trends and also opportunities, especially in the media and entertainment industry. Yeah.
Sure. For tech investment, I think Tom is the expert in the Indonesia as well because he's been in the region for so long. So maybe I answer more into the what we do in the digital media, entertainment, content landscape. So first, one of the opportunity is in digital advertising. Advertising is around 6.5 billion US dollar in Indonesia. 2.3 billion US dollar is digital advertising. So that includes social media and others. So I think it's very promising. 6.5 billion US dollar is quite massive for advertising industry. Internet user, like I mentioned earlier, around 210. This growing very fast. If you see every number, this keeps growing. What's unique in Indonesia, which coming to my second point, is content creator industry. So when I try to analyze different countries around Southeast Asia and even in Asia, what's unique about Indonesia is the spending of brand or advertisers to content creators. Or the other way is the income of content creators. When you talk to young people, all they want to be is become content creators. But the number speaks for itself. From the digital media industry, based on our internal research, 40% of social media ads goes to content creators. 60% goes to the platform like Facebook, YouTube, and others. So 40%, this is higher in terms of percentage than many other countries in Southeast Asia. So that provides a lot of opportunity for companies, for brands who want to tap into content creator industry. It can be like an endorsement, it can be like a content creator payment, and many other types of content creator, as long as it's a content creator industry. So the third one is a movie industry. So it's very under-penetrated, and I want to share what's unique about the Indonesia movie industry. So in 2022, for the first time, the local content, Indonesian content, surpassed Hollywood content. So 2022, 61% of the moviegoers in theaters are watching local content, Indonesian content, not the Hollywood content. So this means that it provides opportunity for people to enter Indonesia, but it has to create local content because the Indonesian prefers local content. And the last one is live streaming. So the current biggest content format, if we see, is a short video in a vertical format, TikTok style, or Douyin in China, right? So if we see like 10, 15 years ago, it's a text-based format. And then it moved to image-based format like Instagram. It moved to a video-based format like YouTube and others. The past few years is a short video in a vertical format like TikTok and Instagram Reels. But right now, what we see based on what's happening in China, we believe that everything will go live streaming, including entertainment, shopping, and everything. And now we just, last year, because of this trend, we just launched our own app, IDN app, which focus solely on live streaming. Because we know that will be the biggest content format, especially for Gen Z. Gen Z means people who were born 1997 until 2010, because they want more raw, real, authentic, two-way interactive content, two-way interaction between them and the audience. So those four, I think, have a lot of opportunities, which I will be happy to speak with Davide and Tom after this. Digital advertising, content creators, movie industry, and live streaming.
Are we live streaming this or?
Maybe you can provide services next.
Okay,
next
for
year.
next beyond.
Year.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, my next question would be to Davide. Okay, from an angel investor's point of view, like, what are the criteria you look into for when you want to invest in companies?
Okay, this is an interesting question. By the way, Winston, do you invest also in startup or not yet?
Maybe
Not
after
yet,
talking
yeah.
to you,
Yeah,
I'll be convert to your angel list.
Exactly, because we have a lot of founders actually. They make great angel. I used to say that the best mentor is a business angel, because when you put the money, then you cut the courtesy, right? You go straight to the point. I give you the advice. I actually experienced myself because I come from an advisory before, and then I started investing, and I noticed also my mindset shift a little bit. And I think I'm much more maybe brutal and unpolite sometimes, but more useful at the end. I don't have to be liked, right? I need to give results. So another interesting thing, before Thomas was saying, ask people who know the market or a connection, right? And I would have given the same advice. Gobi Partner was one of the pioneers. Some frontier market now are emerging, but they were frontier market, right? I know 2 VC that are investing in Bangladesh. We talk to them all the time, right? They are already on the ground for 10 years, 15 years. And many people ask me, how do you grow so fast and you do so many market on CrossFunc, right? It's not like we have 200 scouts ourselves, but we have 14,000 angels. And some of these angels are corporate, 40% are corporate executive, high level, 10% are founders or ex-founders, another 10% are professional. Maybe they work for Gobi, I don't know, but they cannot, it goes beyond their mandate, for example.
Undercover, yeah.
No, we have many actually, but I didn't check Gobi, honestly. Could be. Not that I know. And so it's important that our angels around the world, they're actually our main scout, right? And we take only referral from people that already invested, so they feel confident and comfortable. So what the angels look, I would say the sweet spot, I would call it market proof. Cannot be market fit, because market fit is already around A, or the train is gone. So you want to come in a little earlier, and maybe plan to exit. Don't wait for the IPO. This is my other advice. The time of the crazy IPO, invest 5,000 Uber, get out with 24 millions. It's not going to happen, because the late stage on VC, they are too complicated. Right? There's so many requirements. I saw 2 deals last year, billion company, multi-billion company. The founder went home without money. without cash. So angel will not get anything. So I think the sweet spot is the proof of market. So the company has some traction because most of the business angel can add value, creating business opportunity, make introduction or bringing a new customer and so on. If there is no product already that's sellable, then it's going to be very, very hard.
Okay. People elsewhere often see ASEAN as a market, but actually it's 10 countries with multi-languages, cultures, and regulations. So there are challenges. So unfortunately, we have to wrap up in a few minutes more, but I would like to get a piece of advice from all of you here, like to companies and investors that are looking into this Southeast Asia. What are the things that what's your piece of advice to them? Anyone would like to?
Tom can go first.
Indonesia. If I want to go to Indonesia,
Yeah.
like what should I take
Sure.
note of?
Yeah. For the opportunity in Indonesia, I think all the research have suggested that it's very positive. It's a very massive market with a growing economy and so on. However, we need to remember that it's always better to partner with the local players. I think that's one takeaway that I would have. Because in the end, Indonesia has a local taste, local culture, and many localization. Like I mentioned, the movie is unheard of that they prefer a local movie than Hollywood movies. 61% this year, I think going to be more. So partnering with local companies to understand about the local culture, local taste, and also to navigate, like Tom say, we cannot deny that sometimes there are business regulation that is quite not easy to understand. So by partnering with local, we kind of remove some of the challenges that we're going to face. Because the government has been very open. If you see the foreign direct investment, the negative list has been better. Many of them is no longer in the negative list. The minimum capital to come in has been lowered down. So it's a very friendly business city, a business country. And yeah, I think there are many opportunities. And if you want to partner with local companies in the digital media, entertainment, live streaming, or movie, music, you can partner with us. Yeah, I mean, we can do anything, music, concert. Yes, yeah.
I should have invested earlier. PD, I didn't know you. Very great. I guess I go after. I kind of spoiled my advice before. I didn't know it was coming. So maybe I can focus just a little bit about diversity. Because, yeah, everybody says Southeast Asia, but then it's a completely different galaxy. But what I want to say, I mean, even China is called China, but there is like at least 20 different countries inside China, right? Yeah. You don't sell in China in the same place. I come from Europe. We have 30 countries and growing. We got one now. It's a little in bad shape coming in. But we have different language, different culture. We actually kind of hate each other. I mean, we've been killing each other for centuries. The first time we have a peace so long in Europe after the Emperor Augustus, it was actually after the Second World War because of the European Union. And actually, my advice is nothing we can do, but I can share my opinion. Yesterday, the 9th of May was the Europe Day. I post on my WeChat and other social, I'm proud to be European. And I think if in the future ASEAN wants to, Southeast Asia want to have a role as a global economy, in the global economy, they need to create some structure that put them together. There is no alternative. It's something stronger than what is available now. If you have this kind of common market, that's what I mean, like homogeneous, like legal framework, then the region can grow and have a world role. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard. Yeah.
Okay, Thomas.
Yeah, no, I think I just echo what everybody said. I think again for Chinese entrepreneurs or companies looking to Southeast Asia, it's very. I think what's so amazing about it's so diverse, right? If you go, the Philippines is a Catholic, right, market with a Latino spirit, they say, right? Malaysia and Indonesia are Muslim. Thailand is Buddhist. Vietnam is sort of communist, right? I guess, well, very similar to kind of China.
We have Catholic too in
Catholics
Vietnam.
as well. There,
Yeah,
there you go. And of
There's-
course, Singapore is sort of just, it's as modern as any city out there. But I think the diversity is what makes it so interesting, because if you can regionalize, we call it a string of pearls, right? I mean, the reason why Alibaba was interested in Lazada was because Lazada had created a regional footprint, right? Alibaba didn't necessarily have to go into every market to build it out. So I think, again, the opportunity for investors or builders is to go into Southeast Asia, and if you can create a regional platform, that could be very, very valuable later on for larger companies from the US, from Europe, India, Japan, Korea, that are trying to enter. But again, having said that, it's not easy. But that's why I think Southeast Asia is a perfect test bed for Chinese companies to globalize or internationalize using Southeast Asia, because it will challenge your management capabilities. And that's one thing I would just say. I mean, sometimes you overlook the opportunities in your own backyard. I think for a lot of folks in China, the U.S., always a great market, Europe, but, don't forget, I mean, the friendly neighborhood in the Southeast Asia is right there. 700 million people, all very young, sometimes gets overlooked. And I expect that, again, those investment flows to definitely increase. And I think this conference is a nice first step to accelerate that process. Yeah.
Just to
Okay.
add on Tom's
Yes.
point, Indonesia average age now is 29 years old. So we are going to reach the aging population around 2050. So we still have almost 30 years of a growing economy and still productive demographic bonus, which is a more productive age of group of people than non-productive, which make it even more appealing for many countries.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.